bottom line is the left cannot afford to lose Twitter as a censorship powerhouse. So here's what will happen. Either Twitter will recruit another entity to buy it, fully willing to continue the censorship of conservatives, or the government will step in to block the sale. And if they can't destroy Elon Musk, the Democrats in Congress might try. Either way, we are about to witness a battle of epic proportions. Well, joining me now is host of the Trish Regan Show and editor-in-chief of TrishIntel.com. My good friend Trish Regan is here. Trish, welcome back.
Good to see you, Grant.
So what do you make of the all-out panic on the left by Elon's quest to take over Twitter?
No, I mean, it's, I guess, not all that surprising. They want to control the narrative. They see Twitter as a vehicle to control that narrative. And so the threat of somebody coming in, who, by the way, isn't a conservative, he's actually libertarian and a big proponent of free speech, the idea that somebody would actually allow a diversity of speech out there is absolutely terrifying to them. Don't forget, they have Twitter, they have Facebook, they got Google, right, which controls YouTube. So they have basically a real hold on the universe of speech as we know it right now. And anybody else coming in and altering that would really rock their boat.
Trish, they have Facebook. They still have Instagram. They've got YouTube. They censor on all of those outlets. Why is Twitter so important to them?
Twitter is really, I think, a big channel for Washington, D.C. policy types. I think it's very much an echo chamber. I often get frustrated on Twitter because I see only the same people all the time. And I tend to like more conservatives than liberals. So what I hit as a like will actually be a conservative. Consequently, Twitter spits back a lot of the same stuff at me all the time. You actually have to search for other viewpoints. If I want to see a liberal viewpoint, maybe I have to go and search for it. The problem, though, Grant, really comes from that they're doing what they can to minimize conservatives. So yes, you may be conservative and get a lot of conservatives within your feed, but they're really working to try and minimize how many conservatives are on that platform. And I think that that's the real problem here. What Elon Musk is trying to do is incredibly good, frankly, for our society. We need that diversity in speech. And I'll tell you this, it's also good for Twitter as a company. Shareholders should be pretty annoyed, pretty upset at the lack of performance of this company over the course of the last 6 to 12 months. Somebody needs to get in there and shake things up. Even if he's not successful with this, and I'd like to believe he could still be, but even if he's not successful with this, I think it's bringing attention to the fact that we got a problem. We got a problem because there's too much of the same out there in social media. Yeah. It creates these echo chambers which create one way of thinking.
Yeah, I do believe it's the censorship that is so important to them. Not even so much controlling what information goes out, it's controlling what information doesn't go out is the most important to them. Let me play a clip from you from Elon Musk yesterday at this TED conference, talking about the idea of deleting people off of Twitter, banning them, and what he would do if he took over.
I do think that we want to be just very reluctant to delete things and have just be very cautious with permanent bans. A good sign as to whether there is free speech is someone you don't like allowed to say something you don't like. And if that is the case, then we have free speech.
Yeah, well, we clearly don't on any of these big social media outlets. Trish, what do you think will happen? I made the prediction that I said the government alphabet mafia, the SEC, the FBI, you name it, the IRS, they're all going to be gunning now for Elon Musk. Do you agree?
Sure. I mean, they can't stand him right now. He represents such a massive threat. You mentioned the government alphabet mafia. Don't forget Alphabet, the company, which is Google as well, may have a hand in that too. Look, I think that if this were Jeff Bezos, if it were Mike Bloomberg, if it were anyone else, right, they'd be okay with it. The fact is, it's Elon Musk, and he represents so much of a threat. So it's war, frankly, Grant, to them, and they will do whatever they can to squash him and squash this possible takeover. I think that the board sees this as imperative, important for the company that they prevent Elon from getting his hands on Twitter. And so they're going to actively try and work, whether it be via the poison pill that we saw them put in, of course, or other methods, finding other suitors, et cetera, whatever they have to do to save, quote unquote, save Twitter from this madman, Elon Musk, which is exactly how they're painting him. Let's just remember here, the left wouldn't have an electric vehicle industry if it was not for the genius, absolute genius and innovation of Elon Musk. So the fact that they're trying to tear him down, Robert Reich, the former Labor Secretary of the United States, saying that he's akin to an oligarch. Why are we going to allow oligarchs to control our speech and our media outlets? I'm like, whoa, wait a second, guy. You know what? This is hardly, I mean, it's so inappropriate. It's so out of touch to be referring to somebody who has built so many magnificent businesses through just pure creativity and hard work to attack them like that. But that is exactly, Grant, you're exactly right. They're going to go after him because it's war.
Yeah. And don't forget the hypocrisy of them. They love Bezos taking over the Washington Post and Bloomberg with his media outlets, and they cheer those billionaires for controlling the flow of information. But boy, a libertarian comes in, God forbid. Trish Regan, always great to see you. Have yourself a great weekend. Thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you. You too.